Roblox Raiders, I mean Marathon, has just released a new video, Vision of Marathon. I actually just traveled, got to my room, part in the background. I laid down, I even fluffed my pillows for you guys. I laid down and I saw that this had just released, and I was like, oh man, we have to watch this together. Question that comes to my mind is, who is Bungie targeting? I felt very confused when I saw the initial reveal. And also, is this a not for me game, or is it just slop? Maybe you're somebody that liked what you seen in the initial reveal, or maybe you're not. Let me know down in the comments. And also, as we watch this, let me know if your mind changes at all based upon what they give us.
Oh, actually, rookies. Oh,
Players want more challenge. The whole point of an extraction shooter is that you're challenged to even survive in this world.
We heard loud and clear from the alpha, the world didn't feel dangerous. The world didn't feel lived in.
Tau City forged us at this place that really doesn't want you there. And that sort of survival narrative really fits really well with the kind of world that we're creating.
The world needs to feel like there is something sinister underneath the surface, even when the colors are really bright.
Maybe should not be here. We want to marry the classic Bungie game feel, where you are blasting stuff in the face and it feels amazing.
Sinister underneath the surface, even when the colors are really bright.
You should not be here. We want to marry the classic Bungie game feel.
Mike Humboldt, senior designer, him.
If you want good loot, you have to go to places where you're taking risks, either risks from other players or risks from AI.
So we have all these tools now, Rook with Prox Chat and the way the game works and sort of how tense it is. I think all those things work together really well.
Yeah.
Thank God, move it.
You have another Rook.
No, stop that. No.
Sorry.
Like,
Bro, I'm not trying to stop this a lot of times, and I'm not trying to crap on Marathon throughout this whole video. I'm not going to do it. What I will say is having Arc Raiders now out there into the world in a game that I have really thoroughly enjoyed, when I don't even like extraction shooters, but I love Arc Raiders. Like, there's a whole new level of expectation, I feel, and now they have to meet that or exceed it. Like, I don't know, that's going to be difficult.
No. The Marathon ship is essentially a ship that we sent out from Earth, an Earth that was overpopulated, to explore and colonize a star far away that we call Tau Ceti. In a lot of ways, it's like the tale of humanity trying to go out into the dark void of space, find a place to colonize, and failing terribly at it.
Everyone's gone. Something catastrophic happened. And it's not just their absence that's important. It's the things that they left behind.
The modern race to Tau Ceti all started when a mysterious signal came through the galaxy.
The turmoil that sort of ensues gives rise to all these corporations that were invested in this Marathon project, now going, what happened? How do we recoup our investment?
And then layered on top of that is the greed and corruption of all of the different factions and corporations and revolutionary groups.
In our version of the world, we send people out, not just to discover what happened, but also to collect from the things that remain there. And those people are runners.
As a runner, you're a biocybernetic mercenary who's traded their human body for a biosynthetic one.
What do you guys think of these skins? Just don't think that looks good.
You're not an unkillable god slayer. You are a mercenary, a disposable mercenary. You will live, you will die.
They are not people. You are the person. You go into that shell and adopt the personality matrix that is specifically designed to help you do the thing that you need to do.
It's like it is
You've been hired by these factions to come to Tau Ceti to scavenge it for anything that might be of value.
As a runner, you left your body behind. You've traveled light years so that you can have access to the ultimate payday.
with extraction shooters, it is all about survival. There are other people who want the same things that you want, and it's up to you to best
But But there's quiet periods where you're listening for the anticipation of something. Could there be another kill in the distance? Did I just hear a gunshot? Did I hear AI just alert?
Yeah.
And then there's the loud bombastic action moments where the minute something is alerted, the minute you're in that fight, now it's go time. Players particularly pose a lot of danger to you. They can make a lot of decisions that you might find illogical and completely trick you into scenarios. Sometimes the best loot box is another player that you see along with that.
Take a look at this. The weapons look pretty cool. It just does. It has like this Roblox look to it.
So there's a few different ways you can play the game. So one of them is you can play Encrypt, both with your friends and also through Crewfill, which will just match you with 2 other players. You can play solo, and you'll jump into a game with a bunch of other solo players.
What are the benefits?
Solo, I think the stakes are a bit higher, right? You have only yourself to rely on.
You still have proc strat, so you can call out to other solos, but you are playing a tense alliance game where it's really up to them whether or not they decide to honor or respect that alliance you might have created.
It's all about figuring out what's your investment, what's your stake, when to get in, when to get out, and when to kill the other guy. Being good at Marathon is like playing poker with guns.
Like playing Arc Raider.
One of the things we've really focused on is making sure the environments are selling the tone we want to hit with the game.
We've brought a little bit of groundedness, a little bit of grit, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of that mood that kind of is necessary for an extraction shooter to feel dangerous.
Our biggest goal has always been player immersion.
We're trying to keep everything as believable and realistic as possible.
So we cranked up all the material responses, feel accurate, feel realistic. You'll get gloss, you'll get crud and mud. And no one of those things is all that sexy, but when you layer in just a little bit more, responsive to light, a little bit more responsive to the player, things will part, water will pool, layer in all these different things, the world becomes much more alive. It feels like a real place. And then when you're feeling like a real place and you feel in danger, now your run matters.
It doesn't look bad. It's slick. I don't mind the world.
I look back at some of the alpha shots, and it's kind of hard to tell when it's sunny or when it's rainy. Weather feels like weather now. But like when it's sunny, you get this really nice like bleaching effect. It feels hard to tell when it's sunny or when it's rainy. Weather feels like weather now. But like when it's sunny.
They are watching Arc Raiders, bro. Like there's no way. There's no way. That looks a lot better.
You get this really nice like bleaching effect. It feels bright. It feels like warm when it's sunny now. I feel like we're just celebrating that color so much more. I think that just contributes to the whole effect.
So we have dead bodies in the game now. We also have like decay on the runners themselves. Like you'll actually see them fall apart. We're actually dropping the body. The body stays there and the body slowly decays over time as you loot it.
So you come into a room and you see a bunch of carnage, but you see one body is still pristine. You know that that killer is probably close and you are not safe. If everybody is just a mess.
That's a really cool addition, I think, that makes it really unique to see the decay of a body. And if they're not very decayed, then you know that there could be an enemy. That's pretty dope.
See goop, you're probably okay.
That's neat.
Audio is a huge gameplay component in Marathon. Every sound plays a function. Close-ups tell players everything. It's telling you what is the type of threat that's around you. Where are they at? Are they above you? Are they far away? Are they close by? So if I'm in bioresearch and I hear a particular material type, I know, hey, they're on the second floor and they're in this room. Our hero is the world. So we're constantly trying to figure out where can music help reinforce what is the vibe and intent of this place.
There was the discussion about the interaction between score and sound design. And I wanted to create a score that wasn't just like full of instruments you've heard before. The job was how can I make what I'm seeing, this race to survival, even more nervous and even more terrifying and or even more thrilling?
Those glasses are really big. I wonder if he sees better with those.
We have 4 zones, and each one of those zones has its own sort of approach to kind of level design and what it asks players to kind of think about and do. You're going to start with perimeter, kind of on the outskirts of the colony. It's a little more spread out. You got a little bit more areas to be safe and to sneak around, but it's also a little more straightforward.
It really brings this sense of scale. It sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to understand what has happened and secure the area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners.
I want to go back real quick.
Even on perimeter, which we talk about as it sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to...
So this right here, once again, thinking arc raiders, how great they did with the arcs and the different enemies that you encounter. I think that this is going to be interesting with Marathon to see how they can compete. I don't know how the robots are going to recognize the player with the AI systems and stuff, but are they going to have like very large enemies, or is it just going to be like ones that look simply like the player?
Understand what has happened and secure the area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners. You are still going to die a lot.
Nope. Attention, unauthorized run. You are trespassing in a planetary security zone.
Chill, go in it. It was really important to us that the UEC were not trivial to fight.
When you face them on Tau Ceti as a runner, you are the outlaw. You are trespassing.
They have a little bit of this haunted tone. So you can see they have this floating locomotion. They get these sparks. They have these sigils over their faces. Sometimes their behavior feels almost like they're possessed a little bit. Like, are they taking in commands from a remote AI? The elite tier is sort of like the dark blue. The mini boss tier is more of like a lilac. Our boss tier is just going to be dipped in red.
They have these tendrils that latch out and leech onto you and start sucking away at your consciousness.
I think it would have been nice to see different types of enemies rather than, like, say, changing the color and adding a couple abilities. I would like to see more from that.
Getting into Marsh, you're starting to understand something bad happened here, and you're seeing signs of that in a way that wasn't apparent on perimeter.
On Dire Marsh, we've got the anomaly, and it's this strange alien entity that has erupted up out of the ground.
You're really feeling signs that this is more of an epicenter of where things went wrong on this colony.
It's got a different style of gameplay. It's more like a central complex that is rich with overlapping areas and regions that you can find yourself kind of bleeding from one encounter to another.
It's a great map to go in when you just want some action, and you're gonna need somewhere to carve. Each map has different weather systems. It has different dynamic events that can happen, and your approach to them is never going to be consistent.
One of the needs that the design team thought that we should have is more challenging PvE activities.
Each of our zones has these bigger events that don't happen every session, but when they do happen, and if you know they're happening, have us double.
Okay.
Building these types of events into the world shake up your run and make you decide, like, what do you want to risk?
That's cool.
That's a lot. You get to Outpost. An Outpost is a more functional, thriving UESC facility. There's scan drones flying overhead, the UESC's everywhere, there's tripwires, there's a weather hazards. It's a lot of stuff you're up against from the get-go.
Outpost is a smaller map, but it's also a lot more vertical. It's built around a specific building that we call the Pinwheel.
This is just this meat grinder of a structure that's like a corkscrewed building that has nooks and crannies and hallways, and it just becomes a real cluster when you're in there fighting. The floor is raised on outpost and nothing is free.
Is there a lot of hordes? Because it seems like when you're fighting an enemy, there's a lot that you're encountering. On top of that, you still have the PvP aspect of it, right? That I think that really separates it. But we'll see. Like, are the hordes like annoying? Is the loot worth it? How big are these maps? Because the maps actually kind of look cool. Also, if you're enjoying this video so far, definitely consider hitting that like button and subscribing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. All right, let's hop back in.
The pinwheel hosts some of the best loot opportunities.
But it's noisy. Players are going to know you're doing it, so there's extra risks.
The character you're going to spend the most time with is the zones. Understanding each personality of every zone. That's the storytelling every player gets.
Every time you're on the planet, you can look up and see the ship floating and looming in the skybox, reminding you of why this place even exists, but also reminding you that something stuff happened here, and you got to figure out what it was.
That's right. Choose. That is the first.
Marathon has a lot of loot in it. It's a huge pie. There's a ton of different implants at every rarity. There's a ton of different runner cores for each runner. There's over 400 weapon mods. Like, it's just an outlandish number of items to collect.
There's going to be a really interesting period of discoverability where players sort of figure out, what are the pieces that I have available to me? How do I get them? And how do I put them together into something that's awesome?
That's neat.
You can go through and look at how many iconic weapons have come from Bungie. And it's something that we really want to hold up and make sure that we're matching that legacy.
Visually, they're all really, really distinct and clearly Marathon, but we wanted animation-wise, a majority of them to feel recognizable. So when you put them in your hands, you knew how to use them.
Mods will basically allow you to increase certain stats on the guns, that battery SMG. The gold mod, full-blown, turns it into the needle. Okay. The sidearm is a gun that is effective in close quarters, but maybe not too much outside of that. But the gold mod on this gun puts a suppressor on it, and then when I kill something with this gun, I turn invisible. And then that lends it to other build crafting if I want to sort of stack into how invisible can I be.
That's cool.
Even some weapon mods can improve stats and your runner shell's capabilities. So there's lots of different ways to raise the floor of your stats so that you're coming into each run strong.
Gunner shells are a bioprinted body that you inhabit when you go down to Tau Ceti to scavenge the ruins of the Lost Colony. Each of our launch shells is really an archetype of gameplay. So if you want to play like a frontline tank, if you want to play a rat character that wants to sneak around, if you want to find those rats, we have our shell created.
The idea there is like, have a broad spectrum that everyone can kind of find a little bit of a home to, and then we're going to build on top of that.
Cores and implants mold the kit into a playstyle that you want.
So examples of those are like, on Thief, I get a second grapple. On Destroyer, I pull out my Riot Barricade, and as it takes damage, it's actually converting that damage into shield back to me.
As dope. And these can be used in combination with each other to shift the gameplay style of your runner kit.
At any point you feel like you don't want to risk anything, or maybe you're down on your luck and you want the opportunity to get back, Rook's your guy.
All right. Rook is a prototype runner shell.
It's a mode where we make it easy for you to just kind of drop into a match that's in progress and run about and try to scavenge as much as possible.
You are going in solo to a run that's already in progress. You don't have a team, you have a very limited loadout, but you're not risking anything. This lets you kind of get in, grab a little bit of loot, and then bail.
So when you get like a really powerful gun or implant or core, it is unlocking some new space or new challenge that you've never done before. And the loot is helping you reach greater heights.
Just don't like hero shooters. I said in the beginning, I would have so much rather customize my own character and choose which ability or whatever. Even if you get rid of all the additional, like having the shield and it generates power, like what you could do with the mods and the weapon types, I think that's really neat. Especially, what did he say? Over like 400 different types of mods or something. Great. But I'm not a fan of choosing a specific type of character.
Faction agents are such a big vehicle for tone and narrative for the world. Each faction has their own motivations, their own desires, the things they're going to ask you to do.
We've got Traxxas, they're the most powerful corporation in human history. They have very long arms and very deep pockets to kind of get what they want.
So they might ask you to go and find specific weapons or mods.
Congratulations, Leonard. Your last performance evaluation was rated on track.
If you're a PvP player, one of the factions is called Arachne. They're essentially a death cult. What that translates to is that they're asking you to go and kill other runners.
The sacred thermodynamics of violence.
Mida is all about destruction. They are going to give you grenades, they're going to give you claymores, they're going to let you blow the place up.
That's where I'll be.
And they are irreverent and dangerous. They might ask you to upload this malware into a UESC dropship. And as it leaves, it explodes and careens off into the distance.
We have to be quiet. Explosive, visionary.
Each of our factions has an upgrade tree that you unlock progressively as you gain reputation with them.
And along the way, you're going to unlock these capstones that are these special upgrades. When you unlock that final capstone, you're gaining access to the best stuff in the market. You're getting gold items.
In addition, these faction upgrades can increase your runner's base stats, and those base stat upgrades are permanent for the rest of the season.
For the rest of the season, okay.
Thanks to tonight.
Darius, you know me. Did you miss your last round of Maitleys?
Gosh, don't tip. Don't question.
Darius?
Access denied.
Okay, it's just me.
Down.
The Codex is a suite of achievements, collectibles, audio logs, things that you're finding in runs that we're going to track for you over time. The more you find these items, the more story you're unlocking about them and what their role is in the world, why they're here, who cared about them, why they're as valuable as they are.
I'm repeating myself with these entries, but any fears inherent in the scope of this endeavor seem unfounded.
Within the Codex, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can unlock. Runner skins, weapon skins, weapon charms, stickers, emblems, backgrounds for your profile, and titles.
So it's everything from your first steps on the world of Tau City 4 all the way through to becoming a vid master and taking on the most extreme challenges.
The marathon ship is the hardest place to survive in this game. And if you're not ready to take your best stuff, well, you're not going to survive.
It's like a hike.
This is where I'm starting to feel like the Destiny. I'm starting to really sense the merge between Halo and Destiny. The more that I'm watching the PvE aspect of it, it's all coming back to me. It's been a while since I played Destiny 2, but that's the feels I'm getting. But I do so far like the world environment. I think it looks really cool. But I'm intrigued, and I will be playing this, by the way, upon launch.
Taste for a runner. Cryo Archive is big in and of itself, but it's also cold. It's also hostile.
It's going to test every aspect of the survival game. Probably going to be forced to run the players in ways you haven't done on other maps. You're going to run into basically every type of environmental threat you have faced before. You're going to fight a who's who of the highest tier UESC units. And the UESC are there in this presence you haven't seen before.
It's really cool because each of the vaults is more successively challenging than the next. And that 7th vault is where you both are going to get the coolest thing, but also where you're going to learn the most about what happened to this place.
At some point in your journey in Cryo Archive, you might start wondering if the UESC are there to keep you out or if they're actually there to keep something else in.
Good, nice. Really good. All right, here we go. Good girls. I like that. Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about for Marathon is getting into the hands of our players.
The biggest thing I want people to take away from Marathon is that it still feels amazing. It still feels like it has that spark.
It takes all the aspects that I think Bungie is really good at. First-person feel and gunplay, the super deep, crazy sci-fi lore, and it mixes up all those things together in a really amazing PvP package.
Really comes down to every single discipline that's working on the game. The animation has to be good. The sound has to be good. Everything has to be working in harmony.
That's when the controller fades away, the screen fades away. You're just immersed in the world.
That is what we're trying to live up to with the Marathon.
It is a mad dash. I'm not going to front about that. It's a mad dash to the finish, but
I bet it is. But
that's when you got to put in the elbow grease and the extra sweat and what it takes to get this done.
Okay.
Leave.
Dude, what is this? What is it?
Let's try people in the X dash. That needs to do.
March 2026. I think they just have a lot to live up to. First impressions are so important, and it just wasn't a good first impression. I think if we would have gotten this instead, I don't think there would have been as much negativity. I don't think it was the fog in the atmosphere. It wasn't this, that, and the third. I just had like the sour taste in my mouth when I first saw the reveal. Like I was like, it just didn't look good. And put aside the whole art stolen thing, like PlayStation worked all that out and all that. Okay, great. But I think it's just, there's way more to it in regards to what people are expecting from a marathon game, what people are expecting from a good Bungie game. And with PlayStation talking about wanting to progress into this multiplayer realm and really try to push hard on that, it's just not looking good so far. Like Concord wasn't good. And then here comes Marathon. Now here we are. Now we also have High Guard that's out there as well. Which game do you think has a better chance at making it? Marathon or High Guard? Let me know down in the comments. But overall, I am more intrigued by this. I look forward to seeing more gameplay on this. And like I said, I'm not trying to just come into this with a complete negative viewpoint just because I know a lot of other creators are doing that. So I want to be honest when I see this, and I do enjoy the world art. I think it looks really interesting. It's different. I don't know about all the blocky looks, especially looking at our stash and just seeing like this looked a little bit confusing just because it was hard to tell which item is which. But I think all in all, I know for a fact I don't like hero shooters, but maybe this one would pull me in. I really, guys, I don't know. Really don't know. Do they put the price point in this?
PlayStation.
No. So my assumption is it'll be free to play. I can't remember. But once again, if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing here at B Sparks Gaming. Smash that like button and click on the screen. That'll take you to more videos here at B Sparks Gaming. I appreciate you hanging out with me here in the hotel. More videos, especially to come this week, as I'll be trying to keep an eye open on things that are releasing on the tubes. So I'll catch you guys later. See you in the next one. Peace.